Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at some of these coins then, shall we? And we'll start with Bitcoin, move on to XRP, and the focus really, I suppose, is on both. So it's not hard to work out what's just happened. In fact, it's relatively predictable, and unfortunately I didn't get to make any videos yesterday. It's just too busy to get around to it. But basically this is what I would have expected, and the reason for it is basically exactly what we've been talking about for, what would this be now, since we came up to test this level. We've been going on about this for 34 days, so a month now we've been talking about this trend line. And I don't see many people, not that I watch any other videos, but I do see on Twitter and stuff like that, no one really goes on about it. I've not seen anybody talk about it, but it's so important. This is the Bitcoin chart, obviously. We have this trend line that comes in from 2017, okay, which is both support and resistance. You know, here we go, rejected, supported all this way, rejected, 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 supported, rejected, rejected, and then for the last 34 days we've been basically dancing around it. So most of the time we've been rejected from it. So rejections all the way around here. We had 2 days where it was supported, and then rejections again and rejections again. So yeah, it's spiky. You do have spikes, and again, when you have a trend line which is this long, okay, so it's getting on for 3 years long now, this trend line, it's not going to be absolutely perfectly accurate, but it's definitely relevant, as you can see. I mean, I would definitely stick this trend line in yourself, because the good thing about it, at least, is that it's moving up, which means that, you know, over time it's going to reach this level here, which is around about the overall big time sort of highest point that we've had recently of around 12,400, 12,500. It's going to reach that level around November, okay, so it's a long way away still. But what I'm referring to that is the reason I'm bringing that up is because that is the most recent high. We need to get to that level. If we're bumping our head on this resistance this entire time, it means that around November that resistance will be this resistance. They'll both be the same, and basically eventually it will break to the up. Now it's probably going to break to the up before then anyway, but basically this is basically the deal. This is what happened. Now the good thing is that yes, we reclaimed the 10 exponential moving average on the daily here, and we were supported from it on the dump down. So rejection here, dump down to there. So this is our little range, okay, from the 10 exponential, which is 11,650, we'll call it, and this trend line here, which is 11,950, we'll call it, just to round things up a bit, because again, you know, there's wicks either way. Now, do I think there's going to be a big breakout, that would be, or a breakdown? No, I don't actually. I think we're going to be snaking our way within this resistance box that we've got here, which is all the way down at 11,550 to all the way up to the top here, where we were basically rejected from yesterday, 12,050, we'll call it. So a perfect example of support and resistance, trend line and moving averages, all the things that I use on a daily basis. There's not a great deal of point having all these fancy things that everybody likes to use. Yeah, it looks impressive to people who don't know what is going on, and you might gain more subscribers because you're speaking another language, but really you can break it down as simple as that. We've got supports, resistances, resistance boxes and trend line, all basically just support and resistance. That's all we're using. Let's have a look at some of these other little basic tools that we need. So we've got the MACD, hasn't yet formed its positive cross and is actually diverging away from itself, but it's still okay because we're in bullish territory still, so I wouldn't worry so much about that. Money flow index neither here nor there, and I'd say that we're actually, let's have a look at this a bit closer actually. This was beginning to look a bit more progressive, but that was a bit of a dive down, but it's still not a lower low on the RSI, so there's still hope for this to make its way back up again. Personally, I think that now that we've reclaimed the 10 exponential moving average and the center of the Bollinger Band, I think we're going to come back up to test at least this trend line, if not the top of this box. Breaking above 12,050 is bullish. Right, so now that we know roughly what's going on with Bitcoin, because we always have to talk about Bitcoin, and I'm sorry about that, let's move on to XRP. We can transfer what we understand about the movement and the direction of the market, because that's what Bitcoin does. We can transfer that knowledge over to XRP. So let's have a look at XRP's chart. Very much the same. In fact, probably I'd say a little bit better in the way that we are still a little bit higher above than Bitcoin when it comes to moving averages. We didn't come down to test the 10 exponential specifically, or should I say we haven't tested it yet. It's not, the days are obviously far from over. A little bit of a shooting star here, which is never a good. Shooting star basically means a large wick on the top and candle body based at the bottom. But again, let's have a look at some of these down here. So we've not got our positive cross, but it's not negative like Bitcoin is. We've got positive movement on the histogram, and we're lower down. We're closer to the 0 point, so it's getting a little bit what I would call squeaky bum time. We don't want to break down really from here and go beneath that 0 point, because that would mean a larger drop for XRP. But the chart in itself looks to me a bit more progressive than Bitcoin's. So if Bitcoin can behave itself, and not even if it doesn't break out or break down, but basically play this level of support and resistance, that would allow, in my experience, that would allow for XRP to actually make some bigger moves. So a few videos ago, just at the weekend anyway, we worked out that the XRP was going to make a move midweek, and that move I suppose has been made. I can't remember what day I made that on. I didn't make one yesterday. It wasn't the day before that, so we'll probably say it was around this day perhaps. So it's moved, that it did make a move. It was getting on for a 12% move, so that was okay. That was a nice enough call, but it's that's not what we really want. We want to see a move outside of this blue box of resistance. Once we've broken outside of there, then we can reclaim our highest points here. Now we've got the Ichimoku cloud here that we're way above all major moving averages, all of them, and we've reclaimed the center of the Bollinger Band. So it should at this point now bring us back up to the testing this top area of the resistance levels here around about 30.7 cent, which I think is looking relatively likely. Let's have a look on the lower time frames to see what they suggest, and we'll move to a 12-hour first. So the 12-hour tells me that we're above all major moving averages. We're having positive crosses. The MACD is just crossing into bullish territory with a positive cross. So that's actually really good. So if this can continue, then I think we're looking for a big moves on this. And 4 hourly, again, all major moving averages, and here we can see that we're again above all major moving averages just about. And recently, when we've been climbing this little ledge over the last day or so, we've been bouncing on the 10 exponential moving average. So it's all looking relatively good. Would I go long at this area? Yeah, I probably would, with a stop loss below this blue box territory. Maybe it was quite a significant stop loss there actually. It'd be a low leverage long, maybe I would do. I'm not telling you to do it. Low leverage long with a stop loss probably just around this level here, so around just so being prepared to lose a penny of, well, obviously not a penny, but a penny's worth of value. So let's measure that one out just to give you an idea. Yeah, 3.5% I would probably say would be, it could come down to that level, but I would be looking for a bounce on this here, and if we didn't get that bounce, then I'll probably say it's not worth it. Take the stop, take the hit, and then buy it back when it goes lower. Personally though, I still think it looks good, and we're just watching Bitcoin play this range out. Now a breakdown from the 10 exponential would be relatively bad, because it means that the downtrend is likely to continue. A break up from here would be pretty good, and we'd be looking to see our most recent high between 12,400 to 12,500, and when we transfer that knowledge over to here onto XRP, we'd be looking at meeting our all-time most recent highest point. Our most recent high point, that would be at 32.7 cent and beyond. So again, both of these charts, when you stand back and look at it, we've got nice divergences away from all these major moving averages. We are above them all as well on Bitcoin and on XRP. So yes, there is a downtrend playing out, but maybe the downtrend has finished. We did notice that there was what could be considered to be a double bottom here on Bitcoin, and that was our first little taste of perhaps the downtrend is finished, and that's basically what we're looking for. We want to make sure that that downtrend has finished. So now that was confirmed, double bottom there. Now that we're above the 10 exponential, that's our second signal. And again, you know, we can't deny that these moving averages are on a decent spread. The third signal and the best one would be this MACD cross into positive territory, and that would be, to me, that would be all guns are blazing. We'll have the double bottom, we'll have the 10 exponential reclaimed, we'll have obviously our nice diverging spread of moving averages, and we would have a positive cross on the MACD. And it looks as though we might get that because the lower time frame suggested that we would. So what's good for Bitcoin will be good for XRP. Even if Bitcoin just snakes around here, I still think that's good for XRP. There's nothing to say that XRP wants to dump at these levels. Again, when we look at the MACD on the lower levels, we've got positive crosses, just about coming into positive territory. We don't really look at the 6 hour, but the 6 hour is good, obviously, and the 4 hourly, you know, it's saying make or break time, you know, right now. So we don't want to go much lower than we are right now. We want to hold 29 cent. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like. If you don't worry, and I hope you have a nice day. Take it.